November 14th, work session of the River Edge Municipal Land Use Board. We'll salute the flag. John?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, by email at Ridgewood News, the Record, and by submission to all persons entitled to same as provided by law of a schedule including the date and time of this meeting. I'd like to remind all members of the public that we have 3 fire exits, one in the back, one on the side, one behind you. In addition, we are recorded by both audio and video, and if you'd like to be recorded, all you need to do is step up to the table. The camera's up there, the microphone's there, and we'll figure it out. I'd like to welcome our ex-mayor, Sandy. Welcome. And roll call, please.
Okay. Councilman Aquafreda, Mr. Arkelian.
Just for the record, Mr. Aquafreda has been excused, as has Mayor Mignon.
Okay. And Mr. Arkelian is here.
Here.
Ms. Boland.
Here.
Dr. Gwartz. Mr. Merriman.
Here.
Mr. Grasso.
Here.
Mr. Monroe.
Here.
Caslin. Okay, and the mayor is here. Alternates. We have alternates tonight. Mr. Craig.
Mr. Craig.
Yes.
I'm here.
Okay.
And we have a quorum.
Quorum is established. We do.
Okay. First up, I'm just gonna go out of turn here just a little bit. We'll go to contact. You want to step up, please? 343 Howland Avenue, lot 1108. I'm sorry, block 1108, and that's lot 5. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you tonight?
Very well.
All right, so you are looking to, why don't you explain what you're looking to do?
This is my architect drawing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if this is the testimony for you.
No, just for completeness.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So we are looking to do a very small addition to the driveway. There's a corner that is sort of incomplete the way it is right now. We're just squaring off that corner. And by adding a very small amount of area, we would be able to add an additional car to the driveway for parking purposes. I'm right on Howland Avenue, so parking can be a little bit uncomfortable for people, so that would make life a little simpler. Also, I don't have a garage in the property, and I'm looking to add a modest shed in the back lot.
I'll go to Mr. Skirvitz, our zoning official.
That's correct. I just want to clarify that the corner is the left corner.
Yep.
Close to the side yard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything is what I thought it was, yes. Very nice.
All right, and I see your letter of denial is included in the packet. How is the paperwork is?
I believe so,
Yeah.
from the standpoint of completeness.
I spoke to Brian today, and he did say it would be complete. Are there any questions at this point? I'd like to have a motion for.
I'll make a motion that the application be
Mr.
Okay.
Second?
Second.
That was Mr. Craig. Roll call as always.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Arkelian.
Yes.
Ms. Boland.
Yes.
Mr. Merriman.
Yes.
Mr. Grasso.
Yes.
Mr. Monroe.
Yes.
And Mr. Craig.
Yes. Okay, you've been
Complete.
deemed complete, sir. We'll call you up when we're ready to hear your case.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can we go back, Mr. Chairman? I think we should just approve the minutes.
Oh, we'll get to that, yep.
Did you do that in
Take
regular
3
session?
seconds.
All right.
Has everyone seen the July 27th, 2017 minutes?
Yes.
Just a question, Carol, I see that they're a little thicker than normal.
Would they-
Have we gone to verbatim minutes now, or is this just, it was a long meeting, okay, all right.
Probably because I was here.
Mhm.
Okay, on the minutes, motion?
I motion to approve minutes.
Second.
Mr. Monroe, Mr. Merman?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any objections?
Very fine minutes.
Yes. Okay, so we've got that out of the way.
Go back.
And put that over there. All right, so next one we're gonna bring up is, Mr. Kelm, 175 Lozier Terrace, block 1210, lot 8. Good evening, sir, how are you?
Very well, you Tom?
You are,
Michael Kelly.
and
This is my builder.
On Sepulsa.
Artie Sapelsa,
Yes.
the world-class wrestler.
Wow. You're going back to the dinosaur age.
And, all right, well, that's where I am too. Nice to have you tonight.
Thank you.
Wow.
I remember many of your legendary matches.
Mr. Chairman?
I own the home 200 feet away from
Okay.
that, so I'm going to recuse myself for this part of the
Okay.
meeting and then come back.
Okay. Bill Spindler.
Yes.
I occasionally run into him too.
I see him quite often, too.
For those that don't know, Mr. Sapelsa was back in '76, which was when I went to school, considered one of the top wrestlers in the nation. And the second heavyweight guy was a guy named Bill Spindler from Hasbrook Heights. And when the two of them were facing off, there was a line about a mile to get in to see them. It was pretty exciting
Making me
stuff.
blush. Thank you.
I'm a good historian.
I remember.
Okay,
Spindler,
so-
did he have blonde hair?
Hackensack, Hasbrook Heights, yeah.
yeah, Hasbrook Heights, big,
I remember.
yeah.
Yep.
If I'm not going to embarrass Bill, but he was bigger, you were stronger. That's the way we talked about it. All right, so why don't you tell us what you're looking to accomplish first?
Basically just to do a new renovation on my home, an existing home, because I'm getting married next month. I've lived in the home for like 3 years and just getting ready to start a family and be in town. Okay? That's basically it, just renovate my home.
All right, so by renovation, you're talking about the addition of a pool, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, are you going to be extending the footprint of your home as well?
Yes.
Okay. All right, on with it. Let's go to Mr. Gerbitz.
It should be completed. This other application I've reviewed several times with revisions.
Steve?
Yes, I've looked, the drawings were filed 10 days in advance, and the architectural, the architecturals are here also. So I think we have a complete.
I'll take a motion from the dais. Deem it complete.
Count.
So many.
Mr. Merman, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Monroe. Roll call, please.
Monroe in a second. Okay. Karen Kelly,
Yes.
Ms. Boland,
Yes.
Mr. Meerman,
Yes.
Mr. Grasso. Oh, that's recused. Sorry. And Mr. Craig.
Yes.
All right, so you're deemed complete. We'll call you in a little bit, and we'll have you up, and you can make your case for us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving right along, we will bring up Broderick next. Broderick?
My name is Chairman Thomas J. Barrett for the applicant.
Evening, Mr. Barrett, how are you tonight?
Wonderful, thank you.
Good. Let the record show that Mr. Caslin and Dr. Gerwitz are here.
And this is my client, Mr. Broderick.
Good evening, Mr. Broderick, how are you tonight? Okay, why don't you tell us what you're looking to accomplish tonight?
Sure. Mr. Broderick purchased the property at 65 Fleetwood Square East, and
going to be moving his law offices there, and he needs to have identification. The clients come from a wide area, and they need to be able to find where he's going to be. Very difficult location to access because of its location. It's on the highway. The proposed signs will not impact the residents in the bulk of the town because of its location on the south side of Route 4. So we have two signs that are proposed. We require variances for the location of the signs, for the size of the signs, and for the number of signs. Because there are two. There are actually three existing signs, two of which we're proposing remain. One is two numbers that identify the address of the property, and then there's another tenant who has a sign on the building at this point in time. There's a freestanding sign which will be removed if this application is approved.
Mr. Skirvitz?
Yes, there's several revisions of the plans until I was satisfied that I could properly review it as well as the board. I made an inspection to the premises, very accurate, and I just want to tell the board that the ordinance is not clear about numbers as far as related to signage. It doesn't mention numbers as what a sign message would include. Typically, in most municipalities that I've worked with over the years, numbers for an address aren't included in the sign, either numbers or size or area of allowable signage.
Is it complete, Mr. Skirvitz?
The application?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I've reviewed the documents that were submitted by Mr. Barrett's office. I think for this sign application, I think we're complete.
Okay, members, you also noticed there was a report that I had asked our planner to provide us. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here this evening. Of course, emailed to you earlier.
Still on the way.
So he gives several reasons why this is not in accordance with our ordinances. So certainly there's some variances that are going to be involved.
Right, now I have representative, besides Mr. Broderick, I have a representative of the sign company here, and I also have, and we'll address those concerns.
Okay.
On completeness?
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know if the total proposed sign...
I'm sorry, I'm just going to interrupt you 1 second. Mr. Monroe, I'm sorry, I forgot to...
Yeah, that's
so
right.
you can just step down for a few minutes.
myself from...
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Monroe recused.
I apologize, I should have remembered. Okay. So, well, you got me all... Go ahead, I'm sorry, Doctor.
I just wanted to know if the square footage indicated on here included the numbers or not.
It does. There's a,
Whose review are you referring to?
I'm looking at the...
Tom Barron?
yeah, looking at Mr. Barron's.
Can't speak to that.
Okay.
My review did not.
So your review does not shows the square footage of the lettering and sign without numbers.
Correct.
And yours, as I see it from Mr. Barron's, shows the square footage,
Including the address.
including the address.
Right.
And you're saying when we consider the variance, we're not to include the square footage of the numbers?
That is my findings, because the ordinance does not mention addresses, numerical addresses as part of the signage.
Okay. So can we I just didn't see in the email, what is the accurate, so the 147.42 square feet is the additional proposed square footage?
Proposed signs, yeah.
Each one is 147.42? Okay. And then the two remaining signs, although one is an address, so there's then only the remaining tenant sign that is 45.2 square feet.
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify what, okay.
All right, completeness.
On completeness?
Okay. On completeness, so I have a motion.
Motion to deem.
Dr. Gerwitz. Second by Mr. Merman. A roll call, please.
Chairman Arakelian,
Yes?
Ms. Boland,
Yes.
Dr. Gerwitz,
Yes.
Mr. Merriman?
Yes.
Mr. Grasso?
Yes.
Mr. Monroe recused. Mr. Craig?
Yes.
Deemed complete.
Because our planner was unable to attend tonight, I'm wondering if we can move this hearing until the next available hearing, which would be, I believe, the 28th of the month. I don't see where a hardship would be for 2 more weeks. Would that be okay with you?
That's fine. Okay.
Okay, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Just,
I'm suggesting maybe you give Brian a call tomorrow, and maybe we can set up an informal site plan review first, just to
Okay.
go over it because of the size of the signs. We want to just
You want me to go Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
No problem. And just as an aside, to state myself, you're talking about 1976. I was the attorney for the planning board in 1976,
There you go.
back in the day.
We're reliving history tonight.
Here we
So,
Thank you.
Broadwood goes to September
28th,
28th
right?
with,
9/28.
with a possible, shall I call it, site plan review?
We're going to try to do a review, yeah.
Before, okay.
Okay, lastly, Mr. Kang, 381 Kinderkamek Road, Block 1004, Lot 8.02.
This is the one that is not complete, Mr. Chairman?
You can come up. We'll let him come up first. Yep.
Yep.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Good evening. Didn't I see you back here in 1970?
Actually, in 1991, when I got the original subdivision. And Mr. Merriman was on the
That's
board.
right.
And they brought him back.
Yeah, and I'm still concerned about that tree.
Which tree?
The Weeping Beech in the southeast corner.
On the corner of the property.
Yep,
I think that one's going to remain.
better.
Okay. Why don't you, now this, just for a little history, this is a subdivision that was approved back in 1991, is that correct?
Yes.
Correct? Okay. And there were some conditions that were put into that approval, and you're looking to remove one
of
or
the
two?
conditions.
I'm sorry?
One of the conditions.
One of the conditions.
And we're also seeking a rear yard variance because of the unusual shape of the property. It meets the setback requirement on the southwest corner of the house, but as we move to the north, the line also moves, the property line, and at the closest point then the northwest corner of the house would be 13 point something feet from the property line, thereby requiring a variance.
Mr. Skurvitz. I'm sorry, did you have
I was
something
just going
else?
to say, that's the condition that we're seeking relief from. There was a condition imposed that a new dwelling could not be constructed north of the current east-west line of the existing home. And this would encroach by approximately 4 feet in the front section of the home, the northeast corner of the home. In the area of the home which encroaches about 3% of the home itself, the proposed home. So it's a very small encroachment, and it's in the front of the
Right.
house.
Without getting too much of the testimony here, I'm just confused. How was it subdivided back then when there were some encroachment issues?
No. The encroachment would occur now.
Oh, okay.
With the construction of the new home. It would encroach into that east-west line that the condition said you can't build north of. So we're saying, we're asking for relief from that condition so that we can build as proposed.
Mr. Chairman, I did not review this application. I referred to the board plan. A couple of years ago, a gentleman came in to build on the original subdivision, the original approval, and did not approve any building plans was contrary to the plan. Brad and I discussed that a while ago. So apparently this is a request to remove, like Mr. Barrett said, the condition of location of the front house and along the
Correct.
Well, Mr. Barrett, my partner indicated to me today that there are other resolutions that should be looked at.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with them, and I attempted to call, Mr. the new secretary. Gentlemen? Ed?
Ed,
Oh, okay. I tried to call today, but, he wasn't in. I was gonna ask what other resolutions there are. I'm not familiar with the other resolutions.
Well, okay, this is actually, Mayor has dropped these off. That we have. We have the resolution of the planning board, which is dated April 18, 1991. We have that, that's the one with the condition.
Well, that's the one I provided, because they couldn't find it.
Right.
That was the subdivision.
Correct.
Okay.
When was this dropped off?
This was on my desk this evening.
when was this dropped off, do you know?
When was the application filed?
No, when was the,
Resolution
Yeah.
originally provided? Spring might have been,
You provided us at least last year, not year before.
okay, long time ago.
okay.
But that copy and then the copy of the subdivision map itself, because the conditions are noted on the subdivision map.
They had the building envelope.
Right.
And there are minutes back from 1991 that I'm looking at for the first time. So.
Mhm.
Right. No, I don't see any other resolutions.
Right, I don't know that Brian got them yet.
Well,
He indicated you had sent other resolutions, though. No? So there's a little confusion there then, because Brian
That-
called me and mentioned again that there were other resolutions, and that's why I tried to call Ed, to see what they were, because I know that the, property owner in 1991 sold the house to his daughter and son-in-law, and they made no applications, and then they sold it to the current owner, and to my knowledge, he had not made any applications. That's why I didn't know what resolutions were being referred to. So we'll have to wait and see what it was that Brian was referring to.
So in the interest of being able to investigate that a little further, and also to have both our planner and engineer present, I think at this point we'll just hold on to deeming this complete for this evening, with the caveat that in 2 weeks, when you come back, we'll have a work session, and if it's complete, then what's complete, and then we'll schedule for the hearing that night. Is that all right with you?
Okay, because I notified everyone for tonight, because I was told to a while ago, and, you know, there are a number of property owners, things of course to the applicant just to notify everyone. Can you notify those who appeared tonight on the application that it's being carried until?
so we can do that.
I think that's fair.
Since you noticed for this evening, do you have your notice, just so I can take a look to make sure that it complies with the law, and then we can...
Yeah, I had submitted an affidavit, but I'll be happy to give you the copy. Because I also...
No, we're looking, actually, I'd like to see the newspaper.
I submitted the proof of
Notice.
service, and then the record,
And you have your...
All
Okay,
my certified-
let me look at this. Give me
No
one
problem.
second.
and I can make additional copies and get them over to Brian tomorrow.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Mr. Chairman, it appears that the applicant did notice the application in the record on August 20... No, I'm sorry. Yeah, on August 25, 2017, calling for the matter to be heard this evening. And it adequately describes the property and the variances that are being sought. Looking at the 200-foot list and quickly looking at the returns. So it does appear in the 200-foot letter. So it does appear that adequate notice and publication was made, and therefore I think that the board can inform the public, whoever's here this evening.
That will be carried to the next meeting,
Yes.
which is the 28th at 7:30 p.m.
And there won't be any, so the public here on this application, there will not, at 381 Kindercomack Road, there won't be any further notice, everybody. This is your notice. The case is going to be heard in 2 weeks. Okay, no further notice. Everyone got that? Tell your, well, tell your friends if they want to appeal, but for you, anyone here, thanks, Mr. Barrett.
I'll get copies of it.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Right, and then,
I'm sorry.
I know that
I-
one of the members would like to have a work session, so perhaps we can combine them.
All right, let me make I reviewed the plan submitted. It is a deficient site plan, grossly.
So then why don't we try to get them
I can give
in for...
Mr. Barrett my comments, I can give it to him publicly, or I can give it to him privately. Okay.
Being that we haven't deemed it complete, probably
Well, we haven't deemed it complete yet, so you want to have a discussion with Mr. Barrett.
Mr. Barrett,
But the ordinance exempts one-family houses from the site plan requirement.
yes, but you have variances,
Right.
therefore you're gonna show me a site plan.
Well, it's not required under the ordinance.
What did I just say?
I'm sorry.
There are variances.
There are variances. You're gonna show me a site plan.
And I'm saying that the ordinance does not require a site plan.
I require.
Well, that's a different issue.
Right. Steve, you want to...
You of this one?
Yes.
You are missing meets and bounds to start with on your map.
All right. Let's listen to Mr. Meerman. Go ahead. What are all of, so I get,
You-
let's get it
the
all down.
essence of it
Take
is-
notes, Mr. Barrett,
The
so we
essence
both know.
of it is you are missing your boundaries, descriptions, meets and bounds. And yet you got a dimension from those for your variances, so you're missing those. There are no, offhand.
Hold on, let him write it down.
What, I'm sorry, the second point is, you want a meets and bounds description.
Yeah, you show a dashed line
Okay,
that he's calling a property line, but it's not described
okay,
by meets and bounds.
okay.
Deficient. Okay? Especially since we're gonna show setbacks to that line. Or lines, number one. All right? So you're gonna show the setbacks. There is a variance required, all right? So I don't know if there are other variances required by what you've submitted. So I need a site plan. And,
But the ordinance doesn't
what-
require
what-
a site plan for a single-family dwelling, regardless of whether or not you're seeking a variance.
I think Mr. Merman is really referring to a plot plan, which is a site plan for residential, 1 and 2 family.
All right, well, and the requirements of which are much less onerous than a complete site plan.
Meets and bounds, building envelope, setbacks.
what do you do for seepage pits?
If you would give me all your comments, I'm sure we can...
That's what I asked them.
Okay.
Okay.
But again, perhaps it was a matter of semantics. You were referring to a site plan, and by the terms of the site plan ordinance, the one-family dwelling is exempt.
John?
So a plot plan I have no problem with.
Okay.
And again, if you just tell us what you want on it, I'm sure we can have it
It's in
done.
the ordinance.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, subdivision, what's required in the plot plan is there.
Okay, no problem.
What else?
All right. I'll just run down. You don't even have a north arrow on there. Now, come on. Let's start with basics.
I didn't draw it.
I'm giving you my comment, all right?
Okay, and I'm
All right,
taking it.
all right.
Give your comments.
No area map. I don't know if the variance schedule is complete. You're incomplete as far as showing seepage pits or drainage. I have nothing on pavements. I have nothing on sewer and water locations or anything like that. And that's just for the beginning, all right? You have
basically submitted a soil movement plan. I don't even know if the borough engineer has reviewed your calculations for soils or the cross sections that are
I
required.
can't answer that. He's got to answer that. He was
Did you submit it?
back. Of course I did. Back in
Okay,
August.
that's fine, okay.
Well, then talk to him. What the hell do you want?
Okay,
me to
okay,
do?
okay.
Hold on.
You know, I did
Lower our
everything he was
voices.
supposed to do, and this is the first time I'm hearing anything.
Yeah.
And when I submitted it, I suggested that it might be worthwhile to have a work session before this. I heard nothing.
Never got down to me.
I'm sorry?
Never got down to me.
Okay.
Again,
All right.
I
So
submitted everything to the borough.
you're going to amend your plan?
All right, so why don't we try to get together, why don't you call Brian? We'll try to set up an informal site plan review where we can hash over this stuff ahead of time, and then we can
Absolutely.
schedule for 2 weeks.
Okay,
Okay?
no problem.
Okay, and again, everybody in the audience, no further notice on this. 2 weeks at this time.
Very good. Thank you. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
Spirit this evening.
Hey, I like that.
All right, so, that is it for the work session. I'll entertain a motion to close the work session.
Ms. Boland?
Ms. Boland, second? Work session closed.
Who is this?
Dr. Gurley.
Dr. Gurley.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, all abstained?
So, are we out, are we in between?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We're off. Okay, we're off the record.
Okay. We're off the record? We're off the record? I just wanted to know, I know that we didn't have a meeting.
Hold on. It's 8:10 p.m. and we'll be opening the regular session of the River Edge Planning Board, Municipal Land Use Board. Roll call, please.
This is for the regular meeting. Chairman Arakelian,
Here.
Ms. Boland. Here. Dr. Gerward.
Here.
Merriman.
Here.
Grasso.
Here.
Ms. Monroe.
Here.
And Mr. Craig.
Here.
Form is, did I miss Mr. Castle?
I'm here.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Mr. Gaslin, how are you tonight?
Doing well, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Okay, so we've approved our minutes, we've done our flag salute, so we'll go right to a hearing, and I think we're going to go out of order here a little bit, and we're going to call Mr. Contact. Again, this is block 1108, lot 5, 343 Howland Avenue. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good.
I'm the architect for the project. I don't know if I need to be sworn in.
Yes, you do. So, I'm going to swear both of you at the same time. Raise your right hand, please. You affirm or swear that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let's get his information first.
First, let's put the applicant, your name and address first.
Yeah, my name is Jeffrey Contact at 343 Howland Avenue.
Spell your last name?
Kontak.
Okay.
And your architect.
And my name is Raul Medeiros.
Spell the last name.
Medeiros. My company is Imagine Architecture, spelled IMAGEN. Do you need my mailing address?
Yeah, please, for the record.
24 West Railroad Avenue, and that's PMB 285 in Tenafly, New Jersey, 07670.
And your architect license number?
New Jersey is 28571. And, I have appeared before this board about a year and a half ago.
Okay, how long you've appeared before other planning boards?
Yeah,
Boards of
yeah,
adjustment?
Yep,
Other
planning board,
municipal
boards of
agencies?
adjustment, and Bergen County, Bergenfield, Gloucester, Crestville, Demarest, Glen Rock, Livingston, Ridgewood, Rutherford, Tenafly, and Teaneck.
Seems satisfactory, Mr. Chairman. Accept them as an expert witness.
Okay. Go ahead.
To tell you a little bit about the property and then the existing house, the property is conforming in lot area and width and depth. What we have is a house that is it's currently non-conforming on the left side, where 7.5 feet is required. We have a side yard setback of 5.3 currently, and in the rear it encroaches where 25 feet is required at the rear yard for this residential zone. We currently have 20.9. The current house is 1.5 stories, built in approximately 1951. There is currently no garage on the house, and the driveway is 16 foot wide, with a little missing portion at the rear, or towards the house at the end of the driveway on the left side, which is one of the reasons that we're here. So we're not really modifying the current house. We're not proposing to change anything with the bulk setbacks or anything having to do with the house. What we are proposing is to square off the end of the driveway at the end of the left side there, where it's kind of there's a piece missing, let's say, currently. And we're also proposing to have a 7x9 storage shed, a detached storage shed in the rear yard installed. So currently, the lot coverage for the buildings are at the required maximum of 25%. And so with the introduction of the proposed shed, it kicks us over on building coverage by 63 square feet, being a 7x9 shed, which puts us at 25.82%, so less than a full percentage over the requirement. And then with the driveway plus the shed, it puts us beyond the impervious number that's required. Currently, the improvements on the lot are about 3% over the requirement of 35% of impervious coverage. And so by this driveway addition that we're proposing and the shed, we're adding about 114 square feet, which brings us to about another 1%, a little over 1% more of impervious coverage. The reason I was called in for this project, and the homeowner would like this additional space on the driveway, is it could afford him another car to park off the street. And Howland Avenue here is the times that I visited the project site here to meet with him and discuss the project, it's a busy street, and I don't really see that many cars parked on the street often. And so I think the off-street parking would help the neighborhood, taking cars off the street there. And with the storage shed, since he doesn't have a garage, it would help with lawn and snow property maintenance equipment to have on site there. And also, since his cellar, since this is an older house, the cellar, the portions of the cellar that's full height only accounts for about 20% of the footprint of the house. So there's not much unfinished storage found in the cellar either. So that's the need for the storage shed. So we believe that hopefully you agree that the requests we're making here to square off the driveway and to add this small storage shed are minor and modest, and you'll find it acceptable.
Just let me interrupt for a second,
Yeah.
because I didn't have anything from the secretary on this particular file.
Yeah, I have the letter of denial.
Okay, the letter of denial I have. Aha, that's what I'm looking for. I just want to note for the record that your client did advertise, appears to be in the record.
Yes, it was.
Just look at it. Okay, here we go. say exactly what day. Oh, August 31st. Fine. And calling for the meeting tonight, September 14th. And you did seek any approval for any other variances that might be required. All right. Did you also send the notice to 200-foot owners?
Yes, notices were sent
Alright.
to those owners and the utilities on the 28th, I believe, 29th.
Did you
I supplied the affidavit, and I supplied
you supplied the affidavit to whom?
to Ed.
Okay.
That was
all right.
supplied about a week ago.
Okay.
And I supplied the white receipts as well, and several of the green ones that.
Okay, well, I'll confirm that, and we can proceed.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, just to kind of tidy up, I guess, the variances that we're actually seeking, according to the denial letter, there's three. One is impervious coverage, which again, the requirement is 35. We have currently on the property approximately 38%, and with these improvements, we would be at a little over 39%. And the second variance is the lot coverage having to do with roofed areas or building coverage. And that goes up almost a full percentage from the current amount of approximately 25% to almost 26%. And then the third variance has to do with the setback of a driveway to the side property line. The requirement is 2 feet, and the current driveway is 0.6 of a foot, so about 8 inches from the property line. And we would be continuing that current non-conformance straight back to square up the driveway.
I believe it's 1.6 currently. And you're, 0.6, I'm sorry.
Point
You're holding the same dimension.
So it's right there.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a continuation of existing?
That's correct.
Okay.
Is that it?
So those are the three variances, and that is, that's what we're hoping to,
Mr. Skirvich.
As far as I can tell, minimum deviation from ordinance compliance with all three, holding the same setback for the driveway, and the shed is creating the lot coverage variance, and the combination between shed and the driveway improvement creates the lot coverage variance, impervious coverage variance. And then the driveway improvement is actually going over existing walkway also, so it's not as, the amount of new coverage is not the total amount of new material going on around. They are compensating for existing walkway that's going to be expanded.
What's the shed going to be used for?
Primarily storage, lawnmower, snow blower. I don't know if I'm going to fit a lot more in there.
It's not going to be used for a garage, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get in there as a motor scooter.
Yeah, it's going to be maybe a bicycle if I can fit it, but mostly lawn care.
I'll start from my left side. Anybody? We'll go to my right side. Anybody?
I just have a question. I see you have a seepage pit
Yes.
on the lot. Do you guys have any issues with water runoff on the property? Do you get a significant amount of...
No, it's been fine. It's been fine. I mean, I had one little depressed area on the other side of the property, but I kind of evened out the ground, and it doesn't create any pools of water.
And what's the shed going to be placed on? What's the foundation of the shed?
concrete pad.
Poured concrete or preset?
well, whatever the pre-manufactured shed installation guidelines are, that's what we would follow. Most likely, some form of a concrete pad.
Is the new pad going down for the air conditioner? Is the old one being removed, or is that staying?
As I understand it, there's one air condenser unit in the back, and since now, as part of the construction application, Jeff hopes to finish the attic portion of his house. we believe that we may need another air condenser unit. We're not sure yet, but we wanted to be prepared for it here and include it for the board to review.
So it'll be the existing or two?
Or two, that's right.
Was that calculated in the impervious coverage?
Originally, and then it was...
No, we don't include that.
Okay.
Potential distance from that little extension on the driveway? Because it's not it's not dimensioned on that detail.
which portion now?
But the length of that little corner of the driveway that you're adding.
Oh,
It looks like it's about 5, 6 feet, something like that?
maybe slightly more. I can scale it.
Oh, thank you.
It's 5.4.
No, that's to the existing building. That's the setback from the yard to the existing.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cray, what was the question? I didn't hear.
Okay, that's just the length of the expansion of the driveway at the end. They're taking it down an extra, is it like 8 feet?
9.
9?
9 feet in, 6 feet over. And then, there's a 45 degree there.
Oh, right, okay.
You good? Yes.
My turn. You are to be commended with what you did with that house.
Thank you.
I wish more people would do the same, especially from an architectural standpoint.
I've had neighbors.
There is a nice side of me too, all right. Yes.
I've had people stop by and say the same.
I watched that house go up, be renovated, fine job.
Thank you.
You're basically held the existing footprint for maybe the extension in the back, or was that back portion already there?
That was already there.
That was already there, so you did not expand the footprint during construction?
Yeah, it's the same foundation.
Okay, all right, that's good. I have nothing further. I think you did a wonderful job.
You think he did a wonderful job, I'm on board with you. At this point, I'd like a motion to open to the public.
A motion open to the public.
Mr. Monroe? Mr. Gerwitz, Dr. Gerwitz? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, all abstained? Okay, if there's anybody from the public that would like to speak on this application, now is your opportunity. Anybody? In that case, I'll entertain a motion to close.
Motion to close the public. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? Okay, last opportunity for comments, questions, anything? I am open to a motion from the board.
Motion to propose the application accepted.
Monroe, Mr. Monroe. To approve.
Second.
That's Mr. Merman. Roll call, please.
Roll call. Chairman Arakalian.
Yes.
Mrs. Poland.
Yes.
Dr. DeWort.
Yes.
Merriman.
Yes.
Grasso.
Yes.
Monroe.
Yes.
Caslin.
Yes.
Craig.
Yes.
Congratulations, good luck, and continued success with your home.
Thank you. In keeping with the theme, 1976 was my birthday.
That's what's keeping me feeling old.
So this will get, resolution will get approved on the 28th, you think?
Yeah, I think
So then I'll try and sign it.
that night? Oh.
No, I won't be
When you get
here,
back.
so either, probably Monday or Tuesday,
Okay,
just so they have an idea.
okay.
Yeah.
How quickly can
He'll get happen in 2 weeks.
Okay.
He's good. You didn't know he was good?
I didn't know it was that good.
They usually get them back pretty
All
quickly.
right, yeah, particularly being that I'm away
Well,
for the first 15 days of
in a
October.
lot of my other towns, we actually wait for the transcript. So I didn't know if he did that here. Obviously, he doesn't do it.
That was your, okay. Mr. Kelm?
Yes. Okay. Want you to know for the record. Yeah,
Mr. Grasso is reclusing himself from this portion of the hearing because he is within the 200-foot notice of the property. I mean, if you want, you don't have to stay because this is the end, hopefully. Okay, so I'm just looking for my, for the record, this is Kelm, block 1210, lot 08, 175 Lozier Terrace. Good evening, sir, again, how are you?
Good evening.
Okay.
This time before we start, do we have the proof of service with you? The notice to the public?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can
I
I
feel like it's,
I didn't get them.
I have whatever was not.
What about you're more interested in the newspaper publication?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And do you have a copy of the notice that you sent to the 200-foot owners?
That was all given in.
Okay.
The actual notice.
Yeah,
Thank you.
show me, get back any of the envelopes from people who didn't claim certified mailing.
I handed everything in.
Okay. All right. Well,
Now, it was in the little,
all right.
everything was,
Okay.
they said just bring the extra ones that they didn't have.
Okay. Good enough.
Actually, here, you can take this. This is a receipt.
Okay, that's what I want to look at. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Chairman, let me note for the record, an advertisement was made, newspaper in the Bergen Record, August 25, 2017, notifying the public of the application, the correct address, 705 Internet, correct. Noticing that the meeting would be held tonight, and asking for various relief from certain zoning ordinance requirements, which are variances. So, the board has jurisdiction to hear the case.
Excellent. Okay, why don't you begin?
Okay. I have family in town.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, can we swear you in?
Yeah, sure.
You better let me vote.
Raise your right hands. Do you solemnly swear the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, state your name first,
My
spell
name
your
is-
last name.
My name is
and
Michael Kelm, Kelm.
And your address?
My address is 175 Lozier Terrace, Edge, New Jersey.
Yep. Arthur Sepelsa, SOP, ELSA. I live at 171 Elm Avenue in Pagoda.
And for the record, you're the builder?
Yes.
Okay. Now you proceed.
Okay. I moved to River Edge about 3 years ago, and I moved to River Edge under the assumption that I am going to plan on renovating the home that I bought. My family's in town. I plan to raise a family in town. I love the street that I live on, and great neighbors. And that's it. I'm just asking for a little bit of relief on a pool. I'm thinking about doing that. It's not 100% positive. I have the funds to build the house right now, but I'm not 100% positive on putting the pool, but on the advice of my architect, he suggested if you're going for variances, if you do decide to do it when you're ready, by all means, get it done now, so. And that's basically it. Just, I plan on staying in town forever. I want to raise my family here. There's really nowhere else I want to go.
It's a great place to raise a family.
Good schools. My brother's got 4 kids in the school system, and my other brother's in New Milford, so we're all kind of close.
Mr. Skurbitz.
Yes, the pergola, we count as lot coverage. And it's taking up about 2.6% of the total lot coverage of the structures. And likewise for the total impervious, about 2.6%. And the pool and the pool patio is about 9% of the total impervious coverage that's requested. So between the pool patio, and the pergola, you're 11.5% of total impervious that's proposed to be added to the existing conditions. Not to mention the new structure itself is going to add some coverage also over the existing. And as far as the driveway, it's variance because the curb cut of 20 feet is the widest for this side, for this lot with 75 feet. It's going to be asking for 22 feet. That's as wide as you can make a driveway on your property, but the curb cut requirements are a little bit different. They don't always coincide. So it's going to match the curb cut to the driveway. Is that correct?
Yes.
I will start on the left side.
I don't have any real questions yet.
Mr. Gurwitz?
Is this house being built on existing foundation or the additional foundation?
It's an existing foundation.
So there'll be no change to the existing foundation?
No,
of the
there
house?
will be. And we're leaving basically a couple of walls. It's not all.
No, foundation, is there going to be an increase to the actual foundation of the house?
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
So you'll be adding lot coverage both in foundation as well as the external pergola, patio,
Yes.
and pool? Okay. Because I don't see anything, does it indicate how much structural addition there is over to the existing foundation?
About 2.6% of the house is going to be added to the lot coverage.
Mr. Skurbis, do you know, were you able to tell?
I haven't done that particular calculation. Let's see, it's all broken down here. The dwelling right now is 1,667 square feet. It's proposed at 2,373, so roughly about over 700 square feet of a larger home than what's there now.
And do we know on the new foundation how much will be additional basement versus slab?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I wanted to add one other thing. The other variances for accessory structures have to be set back a minimum 5 feet from the principal structure. Pergola is going to be attached to the house, so there's no setback. And that's the 4th variance.
5th variance?
4th, right?
5th. Right? No, 5.
Fifth.
Lot coverage, impervious coverage, accessory buildings, curb cut.
That's at the 4th.
So that would be a 5th?
No, that's at 4th.
Oh.
Accessory structure.
Oh, the accessory structure is the there, okay.
Connected to the house.
Yes.
It's number 3 in his report.
Didn't we, okay. So my question is, do we have any indication in terms of additional foundation that's being added in terms of basement about any effect of water with the addition of both a pool, which is a subterranean dig versus slab?
We don't have that because we don't have construction plans. We just have floor plans and elevation plans. That would have to be on any construction plan.
So can you advise, or, I'm curious to know, with the addition of both the dig for a pool and then the dig for additional basement, how that would affect water drainage and water tables in the area?
You have the engineer report, and it's on that they're putting 1,000 gallon tanks in, front and back, to take the extra load of the house and the pool.
Want to say it?
Was that in there? I didn't see.
I
I didn't see it.
You have a report from,
Do you want, wait, does this need to be admitted as a?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was in there.
that was all in there.
That was the plans.
let's see that. Oh, it's your design engineer. It's not our engineer.
We don't have an engineer review.
It's a design calculation. It's a design calculation for the
What?
seepage pit.
Okay.
Doctor, why don't we just mark that before we pass it
Here,
around?
bring us to the
Bring
mic.
it. Let me just mark that A1. All right, just for the record, A1 is a letter from Christopher Lantelme, Lantelme, a engineer, two-page document showing the calculations for the pits, and also what appears to be a diagram for a thousand gallon seepage pit detail.
Two. There's two. There's one in the front,
Mhm.
and one in the back.
They're shown on the site plan too, and the pit is shown on the site plan too. The locations are in the front and the back of the house.
Folks want to see this? No?
What is the proposed? Do we, I ask his advice, is it necessary to have our engineer review this prior to making a decision?
Well,
I think,
unless Mr. Scrubbers can.
I think you can make a decision on a condition that drainage has to meet the department's full standards by our building engineer.
Okay.
Should you choose to do this plan?
So it would be conditional, should it
Mhm.
be?
He'll review this as part of the building permit.
Right. I didn't know if we should request his professional opinion.
No, I don't think we need that for this.
Just ask.
Yeah. We just took over the zoning portion of this a couple months ago, so we're still.
No, I know. I remember the girl. Oh, and you became a dual.
Yeah.
Dual
That's
use.
what we had in my town too. I was on that 17 years. We did the dual.
Right.
Palisades Park?
Yeah, no, Pagoda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we pass
Yeah,
that down?
I'll pass this down. And so I'm not familiar, so I ask, is there, what's the amount of soil removal that's permitted on a residential property?
In the middle of the site plan, you'll have all the soil removing from.
No,
No, I'm asking
He's
the
asking
Quantity.
quantity. I don't remember the numbers and.
Is it 100?
I think if there's a threshold of 100.
I think it's 100 for it.
So
Or here.
I'm saying, but that, I'm asking then in addition, they would also need a variance for soil removal.
No.
Not a variance.
Just,
It's
sorry,
just an
approval,
right? Yeah.
wrong verbiage. Okay.
So you understand that if it comes to a point where you're gonna be removing 100 square yards. 100 yards.
Well, I have to, we have to.
Of soil,
Soil.
then you might have to come back here to remove the soil.
They're moving 613 based on the plan. So they're here before the board anyway.
So let's just do that.
Whether the engineer wants additional information, that could be part of the review for the drainage.
Okay.
613, you said?
Yeah, that's what it says on the plan, yeah. Net soil removed from site 613, the total cut is 850 yards.
Got it. Got it. I see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
this is all, I'm trying to make sure that we cover what.
Cross all, yeah, I agree.
Okay. I mean, for now, well, those are my two big questions were soil removal and
For your question about basement, it seems like they're going to put a substantial basement in.
right. So,
Without seeing the plans, that is.
well, I don't have plans to indicate the substance of the basement. It doesn't say that.
Well, based on how they're removing it, it seems that way.
Right. A question for the applicant, can you indicate the current basement, is that full height?
No, it's gonna be high.
So you're gonna be digging, or you're gonna be digging further, or are you raising the structure?
We're raising the structure.
Okay, so the only place that you have to dig is where you're adding foundation?
Correct. Right?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So there was one other question. I saw the height of the building meets the current standards, it's 31.5 feet. And so that, so my understanding, like looking at the pictures, you're saying you're raising the basement. So you're raising the house. So with the additional increase in the height from grade, you will not be changing from what's on the plans?
No.
Okay. Okay. Do you have an elevate, I was just curious, do you know how
It's on the
elevated?
site
It's
plan.
right here, it's 30 feet.
Right below the
Building height.
specs.
No, do you know the height of the foundation
This is
above
average
grade?
grade 61.5.
I'm sorry, say again?
The height of the foundation above grade?
Above grade, the grade drops about 3 to 4 feet on the property
Okay.
from one corner to the other. It will, at one end, it will be almost level with the property, the
Okay.
garage area, and then it will drop down to about 3.5 feet, almost 4 feet on the northwest side.
Okay, so,
If you're looking at the house,
yep,
the left side is higher, and it's gonna drop down about 3 4 feet.
okay, and so that water's gonna run off your property?
Into the tanks.
Well, so that's what I'm trying to understand, looking at your property with the increased size of the driveway, you're gonna have grade going towards downhill, I guess, into the circle? Is there, because of the way the grade runs, I'm just trying to make sure, is there a storm drain in that street, in the circle?
Not sure, to be honest with you.
I'm just thinking there's gonna be an additional runoff of water, especially with the pool being covered.
Well, there's 3 other homes that are higher than me that have that drive.
The engineers figured,
Yeah.
you have to figure for zero water off your property.
Right.
I understand that. I'm just thinking in terms of,
Like water in the street.
well, what's the runoff from the property with the addition of the pool?
The law, Mr. Herman could probably address this better than I can, but in New Jersey, you can't create any more runoff from the property than currently exists through new construction.
Right, so I guess my concern is a pool is proposed, so this is based on the proposed pool. So I guess if the pool is not built now and they go back to build the pool at a later date, do they have to come back? So the pool would have to be built per depth and size as stipulated here. Otherwise, they would have to change the seepage pits.
Or they can start construction on a pool within a year.
And that's what I'm wondering, if they don't start construction within a year on the pool, what happens? Because I'm wondering, do they have to put those seepage pits in? If they don't build the pool and they don't put the seepage pit in, what happens when they put the pool in that was on the plans? I just want to understand the future management of water.
I would put the seepage pit in even if I don't put, just to make sure that I have enough water.
Okay.
So you have no problem with that, it's in the plan.
I think what's in the plan we have to do.
Yeah.
Well, you follow my concern, like,
Yeah, what you approve, if you approve this plan tonight,
yes,
to get a CO, they have to build, well, they don't have to build anything. But one thing to get a CO, no matter what they build, they're gonna have to put those seepage pits in.
Right.
okay, so that's what I'm saying, he can't be like, I'm not putting the rear seepage pit in because I'm not starting the
No,
pool.
no, that's,
And I
to
wouldn't
get
do
a
that.
CO, that has to be done.
I just want to, listen, we're learning, and I just wanted to make sure I
Yeah.
understand, because I was concerned about the water displacement.
And the only way they'll get a CO without the pool, if they write to the board, they are not putting the pool in, it's a subject to future application.
Okay.
They abandoned that
Right.
fact.
So that's what I want to know, is the seepage pits must go in for the C of O.
You're approving this plan, if you do, they have to do the site improvements as are indicated on the plan. When I say site improvements, I mean, you know, the type of asphalt, seepage pits, and any other improvements to the pool. That's up to them if they want to put it in. They're just looking for an approval to do it.
Understand.
But the other items have to be in. That can't be waived.
I was thinking in terms of impervious coverage. I didn't know how things worked if you remove
They don't have
something.
overcapacity if they don't put the pool in.
I'd rather overcapacity than
Yeah.
undercapacity. Okay, thank you, that answers my
And for the record, sir, I would put it in even if I don't.
There you go.
Thank
Well,
you.
you have to.
Yeah.
Doc, you good?
Thank you, yes.
Mr. Craig? Mr. Craig's deep in thought. Mr. Castle?
I'm curious, the wall to be replaced, what is the function of that wall presently and what will it serve in the future?
Neighbors.
It's my neighbor's wall, he's got a rail tile wall, I'll be putting a concrete retaining wall. Retaining wall.
And how, do you have dimensions on that wall?
3 feet.
3 feet? Yeah.
It's right there.
It's a retaining wall.
Landscaping, wall
detail.
detail.
That's what it's going to, yep, this.
So you're just replacing the wall, correct?
Just doing it as a courtesy.
More
to the
aesthetically?
neighbor.
Yeah, yeah, the neighbor understands what I'm gonna be doing, so he's more well on board with it, because his property's higher than mine, so I'm basically just making it a lot stronger and supporting it a lot better. His property coming off of mine.
Right.
He's got actually a pool in his backyard. So I'm definitely gonna, shore that out. I don't want his pool running into my yard, so.
Do you get runoff now from his property?
No, thank God.
Want to start down there? No?
No,
Me?
but-
Okay. Start with the easy one.
Okay,
Drop curb.
drop curb?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? I'm sorry.
Well, the drop curb, you're requesting a variance to
You're
go.
talking about the curb
The
cut?
curb cut?
Yeah,
In the street?
Yeah.
Okay.
I apologize, I didn't know the terminology. It's just aesthetically. I mean, when you look at the curb, I mean, obviously if my driveway is wider than the curb cut, when you're pulling 2 cars in and it comes in, it just doesn't look right. You understand? And plus, it's a lot easier for my wife or my future fiance to come in and out of the driveway. It just gives it a little bit aesthetically a little bit better of a look also.
Must you have the 22 feet?
Excuse me?
Must you have the 22 feet?
I'm asking for it, if it's okay.
Well,
I mean, if it's that big of an issue? Just with the
I've got to say, this is most unusual. That I'm hearing that a drop curb is going to add to the aesthetics of the site and the building.
Okay.
All right. You're stretching it, okay? I can't support, in this case,
So you want to
over
keep it at
20
20?
feet.
Okay.
Okay.
So keep it at 20 feet?
All right.
You got that?
Never mind.
I mean,
No,
it's
go
not-
ahead. I'm sorry.
Usually there's a curb radio, I do, but I guess
Yeah.
that's not applying here.
All right. I understand where you're coming from, all right, and I know it, but
It's fine.
20 feet is standard. Many driveways are wider than the 20 feet, and they will hold to the 20 feet. But again, aesthetically,
Okay, sir.
that's not a reason.
Not a problem.
I think we should try to reduce the coverage as much as possible.
We're gonna get to that. Okay. That's why we took the easy one first.
Okay.
The lot coverage, for that bulk variance, you're roughly a little over 5% of, well, let me restate that. 25% is the current maximum. You're proposing 31. That in itself is about 23% itself over. But the one that's not too bad. But the one that's driving everything, to be honest with you, is your swimming pool and perhaps the curb. Okay. But the swimming pool is the one that's driving your lot coverage. Your impervious surface coverage, all right, just to be more exact, where 35% is permitted, and you got roughly 50%, 49.3, I believe it is.
Okay.
That in itself is 41% greater than the allowable. You take the allowable, multiply it by 41%.
Okay.
Now, those are numbers. Let us look at what you're doing with this coverage. All right. Physically, with the pool in place, you have a green strip from the rear yard to the front of the building. That's basically the width, your setback from the property line to the building. So there's a green strip there. Likewise is true on the right side of the building. You have a green strip. Now,
Mr. Merman, can I interrupt? I just want to ask something because we're looking and this is all related. You guys have down that you have a 75 by 100 square foot property and it's square.
Yeah.
But it says that your proposed lot area is 8438, and I'm confused how you have a different lot area than the measurements of your property.
The lot length is 112.5.
No, I'm saying we have different, what's written down here and what's written down here. So I just wanted to confirm, what are the true measurements of the property? Is it perfectly square at 112 by 75? Because you wrote down, just so you understand, it says 75 by 112, but you guys wrote down, on your application, you wrote down 100.
It's 112.
Okay, I just wanted clarification because the application is wrong.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
So, that's important.
make that correction.
Because
yeah.
if you go by the application, and that's the official document, so I was just confirming. Okay, sorry.
So we're changing the depth from 100 to 112, is that
Yes.
correct?
112.5.
112.5.
Mr. Skirmish, those are dimensions you used on your,
I use the dimensions on the plot plan provided.
okay, which is the 112 and the 75. Okay, so there is no problem.
I actually never reviewed the actual variance out.
Okay, no. For the record. All right, so going back to, let's look at what we wind up with your pool in place.
Okay.
We already said there was a green strip remaining at the left side yard in the setback between the building and the property line. Likewise, it's true, you've got about 8 feet of a green strip on the right side yard. All right. If I look at the pool, you've got a strip there that's probably about 4 feet or so in there, where you're showing shrubbery.
Yep.
Okay, so that goes right across.
Right.
I also have in the front a green strip between the driveway and the left property line. Okay. Now the only 2 pieces of green remaining is in the front yard from the driveway to the right side, the right property line, which has within it a front walkway, so it's not a true square or rectangle.
Right.
And roughly, my estimate, 1/3 of the rear yard on the right side.
Correct.
All right. And the rest of the property, impervious coverage, is driveway,
Yep.
house, pool with patio,
Impervious.
and her.
Uh-huh.
So there's really no green space left,
Okay.
in essence,
Right.
with your pool.
Okay.
Okay? There's almost nothing left. And that's driven basically by the pool.
By the pool.
By the pool. And that pool is going to raise your impervious lot coverage to roughly 50%
Okay.
of the site.
Okay.
All right, which is very high.
Okay.
Okay. My personal opinion, you're approaching an urban atmosphere or site in suburbia. Bottom line, I think it's too much.
So get rid of the pool?
I think if the pool is removed,
Mm-hmm.
you would present you and your future family a nice green backyard.
Fine.
Okay?
Yeah,
I
I'm open
really
to
do.
that, yeah.
And I have no problem really with the pergola. You could call it a covered patio if you want. Now, you could say to yourself, gee, I really wanted a pool,
Right.
but it's not your last option.
Okay.
We do have a nice swim club in town, which is
Tell that to my
your
wife,
plan B.
my future wife.
Which is your plan B.
Yeah, I
Okay.
understand.
All right, so to me, and your application states that the pool is recreational.
Right.
Okay, it's not needed
Correct.
for
Not a necessity.
family,
Yep.
normal living conditions. So, that said, and I'm gonna tell you straight out, I can't support this application with the pool. With the pool, nor the 22-foot drop curve.
Okay.
Okay? I'm done.
Mr. Monroe.
Thank you.
Ms. Bowen.
I'm just agreeing, I think the coverage is way too high.
Okay. With that said, are you in agreement to remove the pool from the application?
Yes.
And the drop curve back to 20.
He already agreed to
Oh,
that.
I didn't
as
hear
a
that.
condition, if you,
If I was paying attention.
Yes.
so you sure? I don't want to force you, or the board doesn't want to force you, but
If you're
it's
saying-
positive.
If you're saying no, then I have no choice.
All right, so,
Well,
too much?
we're not, they got to vote on it.
Yeah.
Right, you could go
It's
to a
just
vote.
one,
You have one person, but I don't know how many other people feel like that. We should do a little canvas here before.
Like I said, it's, like you said, it's definitely for recreational. My wife definitely wants it, my future wife. But if it's gonna cause, that's something I'd have to talk about with her, but, let's see what the rest of the board says before I make a decision.
All right, so, just so we're clear, if you decide to leave it in, and there is a vote by the board and you're turned down,
Uh-huh.
you would have to resubmit an application.
Well, you have to technically resubmit with different calculations without the pool.
If,
And see, and at that point, the board would have to vote again. It would be a new application, because I agree with Mr. Merriman. The pool is a large part of your application. It's not de minimis, it's an item.
Understood.
So changing it changes your application substantially.
So basically, if he's withdrawing the pool,
If
he's
you
going to have to
withdraw-
put in a new application anyway.
no, if he withdraws the
No.
pool, we could vote on it and make it subject to no pool in the memorialization.
Right.
So that would be the second option. The third option is withdraw the pool, build the house, and at a future date, come back with a different plan for your pool, and then look for approval then.
And test the board at that time.
Yeah.
Question.
Hopefully you're not, no, I'm just
To understand, if you remove the pool, would we be removing all the impervious pool patio as well?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so my
since
calculation,
we're having patio.
No, I would be,
No.
isn't there a way?
No, you just said that we could That he
Patio
he
bigger?
can keep the
Pool patio, pool patio.
Oh, not what I said.
Not the pergola.
Not the pergola.
The pool patio. So,
The paver
If
patio.
you remove the pool, you wouldn't need a patio.
well, I'm saying he's not gonna be putting down, block as an open patio. So if, for the board's sake, as we were curious, if you remove the pool and the pool patio pavers, the impervious drops to 40%.
I think we should approve a percent versus an unknown of
That's-
removing,
That's why I'm doing the calculations to get an idea of where we are.
So in that instance, instead of being at 49.3%,
I get 40.1.
it'd be at 40.1.
And that's without the driveway reduced, so it might be
Right.
40.
Well, they weren't changing the driveway, just the curb cut.
It's
Curb
just
cut's
the
still
curb,
in
the
effect.
driveway remains the same, it's
Oh,
only
I
the
thought the whole
street
driveway
curb.
was
No,
going to 20
it's a
feet.
street curb, with, the
Okay.
driveway remains, I believe you had 22 feet, 4 inches. That pavement stays. It's the street curb as it dips down from the driveway to meet the street grade. That's called the drop curb.
Yep.
20 feet's more than sufficient.
Now, I have that in my house, and it's very easy to come in and out. It's just a little bit of a,
Well, I
It's
have-
strictly an aesthetic thing, that's all.
It's just you like things to look beautiful.
You're talking to the wrong person about
Oh, I didn't say it. Listen, you have your opinion. Well, we're all entitled to.
Do you want to caucus with your building? Do you want to?
Well,
It's a big decision.
Basically, you're saying either get rid of the pool or don't do the job. I would just like to get a feel for what the other, council wants to do.
You could also reduce the house if you wanted to and keep the pool.
I'm sorry, what?
You could also reduce the house and keep the pool, maybe.
The house is only adding 2.6% to the,
And it's
to
uniform
the
for what's there.
existing, or what's accepted.
And what's.
I don't think that's,
Surrounding area, it's
overboard.
not at all.
And the pool's adding another 2.6% to the impervious coverage.
Start putting them together, it's the bottom line.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but no one has a pool in town? I mean, he's got a neighbor right up, 2 houses up that's got a
We're talking
huge
about
pool.
this application.
Okay, I agree with that too, but, I would like to get a feel for what some of the other board members are.
I'm confused about the 2.6% because I'm looking at the pool and the patio, pool and the pool patio are almost 800 square feet. Of 41.
I'm sorry, the impervious coverage.
The impervious comes out to about
The
9.
impervious coverage, you're looking at about 7% more because of the pool,
The pool and the pool patio came out to about 9.2%.
okay?
So, which,
Of your 49%.
Right.
So you take the pool out, you're down to 40. You're still 15% over.
and you're still,
Yeah, the 25%.
currently.
I'm not doubting, I would like to get a
Additional
a
8%.
feel for what the other board members are saying.
What's the driveway currently? Is it one car width or 2?
It's like a car and a half.
But yeah,
So if you move the pool, I guess it's,
It's
the
about a car.
existing building is the original ranch that was constructed in
Post-war.
that area, yes, post-war, exactly. All right. It's similar to the footprint that the gentleman just had on Howland.
yeah, no, I understand. You were just trying to figure out, without the pool and the pool patio, how much impervious is being added to the current, which is about, we figure it's about 8%. If you remove the 9.1% for the pool and pool patio, leaves it's about 8%, give or take, 7.9% of additional impervious.
All right, so
Just
you're
about
down to
41%.
40. You're down to roughly
40.1.
40, and the permitted was 35.
Yes.
Now, that sounds reasonable.
Right. Right. I was trying to figure out if you remove the pool and the pool patio, what are we left with in terms of coverage?
I think one of the concerns that I have looking at this, even, when I looked at the number of the coverage, it was 50%, but when you look at it visually, it looks like a lot more. And because of what he was, what we were talking about before, which is the way it's broken up.
Right.
Visually, you have, you know, you've got very little open green space and a lot of coverage. You have, whether it's driveway, house, pergola, pool, patio. And so, you know, I was surprised looking at that 50% and started trying to like figure out where it was, because it
Broken up
it's
quite a bit.
deceptive, right? And I think, you know, when you add those two things in, number one, at almost 50%, you're close to a 50% increase over what's allowed by the ordinance. Plus, you've got this visual impact that makes it even worse. I think it becomes a big concern.
Okay, so you're telling me that the pool is gonna be, you're not gonna vote for the pool?
Yeah, I don't think it will.
Okay.
All right. Same.
Who's up?
20-foot drop curb is in.
20-foot drop curb is in, so.
Okay.
Anything else from the left side?
Just so,
From, we're still over here.
oh, sorry.
Just that you would want to make sure you maintained the patio with the pergola and didn't make it any larger.
What do you mean, the backyard? So if the pool's out,
So if the pool's out-
I can't extend the backyard patio, is that what you're saying?
More
Unless
than
I
what
shrink
you're
down-
already showing with the
Unless I
pergola?
shrink down the kitchen, is that what you're trying to say?
I think 40% is plenty of coverage.
All right.
Okay. Just for clarification, I'm saying basically the pergola can remain, and I think that's what the other,
Can I ask you a question, sir? If I decide to do an open patio without the pergola, that goes...
you still got impervious coverage.
It goes towards impervious coverage opposed to different coverage, right? No, it's just a question, I don't think I'm gonna
Check with
change
the
it.
zoning officer, right? Mark?
Lot coverage, roof structures are also impervious coverage.
Yeah.
So whether you have concrete slab underneath your pergola or you don't, it's still,
Coverage.
lot coverage
Lot
is still coverage.
Understood.
Yeah.
All right.
And again, for clarification, you're removing the pool from the plan as well as the pool paver patio around the pool.
Yeah, there would be no reason to have that.
Which probably will mean that you probably would not need that retaining wall in the back.
Oh, I would put it anyway, though.
Oh, okay.
It's
No,
disgusting.
he's talking about the retaining wall around the
Around the
pool.
The pool.
Oh, no.
No,
I'm
the pool's
just...
gone, the
Yeah.
pavers around it, the retaining wall, it's all gone.
And then it's all green space.
It's all gone.
It's all green.
Well, there's no sense putting it in.
Okay, okay.
The only retaining wall that's gonna be put in is
Replacing it.
replacing the pavers,
That's the one I...
railroad tie wall.
No, okay.
Just, go ahead. Just to add to the conversation just a little bit, because I heard just your neighbor has and so forth. We're a new board from whenever they got their approval. So what the thinking process was back then is different now. And certainly, over the last few years, with some of the storms that we've had, we've become a lot more cautious with impervious because of that. So it's not a matter of us saying yes to the people up the block and no to you because of whatever reason.
Right.
We're just very concerned about water retention and so forth now, more so than we've ever been before, because of some of the instances that happen in town.
We do have a drainage problem, as you're probably aware of in town.
Okay.
It's the soils, it goes back to the soils.
That wasn't adequately addressed in his package with the tanks.
Well, the seepage tanks that he has will probably, the size will probably remain the same, okay? Pretty much so, because the roof in the driveway or your big drivers there. All right.
And you better be safe than sorry anyway.
Yeah, I would
If
do
you're
it.
digging them up, you might as well put them in.
Yeah, of course.
One of the questions I had is, and you might even be able to answer this better, or my two engineers on the board here, will he still need a soil removal approval
I believe so, it's over 100 yards that they're
Yeah.
proposing.
Even with the pool not being there anymore?
What, you mean soil conservation permit?
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm talking about approval from us.
Soil movement, soil
I
movement.
believe so. I believe Mr. Costa will review that, yes. Okay.
The pool is 120 cubic yards, so it is still over 100.
And I
Right.
remember
It was
you
a net
saying
on the
that you
pool
want to
for
try to
60.
keep the soil in town if at all
Well,
possible.
yeah, the provision is, it's already in the ordinance, but, I'll state it because I'm a champion of it. All topsoil, all river edge topsoil remains a river edge.
Where do they place it?
I'll give you my front yard if you want.
There's actually a project going down that they're looking.
Has a storage.
Well, I would say contact DPW,
Okay,
all right, they might want
it's fine, if we have a place to dump it, that's great.
There is a project going down on Howland Avenue. I know they're gonna bring in dirt there. You can
Mhm.
talk to those folks. Not Howland, the bottom of Howland, on
Kindergarten. Oh, yeah, that's the Chrysler.
Yep, so, I know that they're probably looking for dirt, so, yeah, if you contact the DPW, they're usually very good at telling you where,
Okay.
a good place to put it. And that eliminates you having to pay to get rid of it.
That's true.
Anything else from the board? Motion to open to the public?
Make a motion to open to the public.
Ms. Bowman?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? It's open to the public. Anybody from the public wish to speak? Seeing nobody from the public wishing to speak, we have a motion to close.
So made.
Mr. Merman?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Cray? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? At this point, we're at the point of the meeting where I would entertain a motion on this application.
Can I take an attempt?
You can certainly take an attempt, sir.
It'll probably be amended. The site plan for the Michael Clem property, 175 Lonesome Terrace, I recommend for approval with the following revisions. That the swimming pool and the associated patio be deleted, which is one variance, and that the drop curb variance requested, that drop curb remains at 20 feet, which is the max, and therefore there's no variance there. Soil movement, board's quick review of soil movement is it's slightly over 100 cubic yards, and that this board, in that sense, includes the approval of the excess soil movement, and that all topsoil, excess topsoil from the site, be, if it's removed from the site, remain in town.
Oh, second.
Can I just add to that?
Sure, that's why I say it can be removed.
From what was previous, I just want to note for the resolution, obviously subject to the engineer with respect to
Soil movement?
soil removal, drainage, and height.
Correct.
Those should all, because the height is close here
Okay.
to the, or it's a half a
Right.
foot away, and I just want to make sure from Mr. Costa that it is not above. I know the calculations are here on the plan, I want him to check them. Okay?
And Mr. Costa will review the landscape wall.
And the landscape wall.
Okay.
That's all.
And
I want to just know.
amendment, and that the application reflects the accurate dimensions of the property. This is based on the dimension of 112.5-foot depth,
Yeah,
That might have just been a typo.
but I want to make sure, because if the depth was 100, then the impervious coverage is very different.
The survey
You
info
got it on
on,
the site plan.
survey info on the site plan.
The site plan does.
Good.
I understand. I'm saying, so the
Can I just
application,
amend that for a little bit, tweak that a bit, help you out there? Mr. Kellum, can you ask your engineer to give us, he doesn't have to do the entire site plan, a revised site plan without the pool.
Sure.
That would make things a lot easier.
Sure.
while he's doing it, if he could recalculate
He'll do it.
his numbers, that would be great.
Excellent.
But I was just curious, do we also have to do anything official to the application that is incorrect? No? Okay, I just wanted to make
No,
sure.
because the site plan's gonna reflect that, and now we just made the corrected site plan to be added to the.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, you want to take that vote?
That would be you.
I need one question, second, I guess.
Before we have a second.
Before we do we have we were talking earlier about possibly putting a top set number for the coverage of 40%?
It was 40.9, I think. wasn't it?
No,
Are we in a
40.1.
position to put an actual number in there now, or? are we-
Okay. The amended drawing should show the amended percentages. Okay, how's that? Wow.
Okay, we have
That was a community.
We have a motion and we have a second. Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, of course.
Who seconded it?
I'm sorry?
Who seconded?
I think it was Mr. Craig, didn't
Yes,
he?
Bobby. I second it.
Yeah, I believe he did. If not, he did now.
Chairman Arakelian?
Yes.
Ms. Boland?
Yes.
Dr. Gewirtz?
Yes.
Mr. Merriman?
Yes.
Mr. Brasso?
He's abstaining.
Oh, he abstained, I'm sorry, abstained. Mr. Monroe?
Yes.
Mr. Caslin?
Yes.
Mr. Craig?
Yes.
All right. Approved as, with the condition. May I suggest, how quickly do you think your engineer can do this?
I am not in a rush to start the build yet. I gotta get married.
No, I'm doing
Oh,
it
they need to
because
fix up?
I'd like to see.
I'll get it on it right away.
A lot of it even sooner.
This way we can get the memorialization done quick.
Exactly.
I'll do it tomorrow. I'll call my architect and
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Good luck with your home.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Fellas, always a pleasure.
Take care, thank you.
Thank you very much.
No, but we've had many times over
Thank you very
the
much, sir.
factory as well.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
You're joking.
Good luck. Harvey Murphy used to bring me into town there once in a while. I know you, Harvey. I know you, I grew up in Booker. Harvey and I played football.
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't, you have to know my wife.
Yeah, of course. You can tell her.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Okay, as we have no other business except Mr. Merriman.
I have a lot of business. The site plan review committees is a standing site
The
plan.
standing committee, yourself,
Now,
myself, the mayor. Oh,
Would it,
that reminds me, I want to get to something. Go ahead.
would it be to our advantage that the one for the signage that we had Mr. Skirvitz there?
Yeah, sure, he'll come. He's always around.
We're proposed tonight, and the applicant agreed on the Route 4 East signage,
Yes,
a site plan review committee,
yes.
and I just asked the chairman if it would be to the board's advantage if you were present at that meeting. And he-
We'll invite Mark. Yeah. Mhm.
You like me, yeah, all right, yeah.
We also have a standing committee on reviewing the sign ordinance. I'll have to look back into the January minutes when I appointed that committee. I believe you were on it. Does anybody else remember being appointed? I think Mr. Caslin.
You
was
had me on the
volunteered to
master
be on
plan committee.
You're on the master plan, okay. Anybody else remember being on the sign? All right, so I'll look it up.
to review the sign.
The ordinance itself.
I think I'm
Make
on that.
recommendations to the borough. Okay, I would like Mr. Merman to chair that committee and start working with that committee let's tighten up our sign ordinance.
The sign ordinance?
Yep.
All right, can we move up the record, right?
In a minute.
Okay.
I just want to make sure it's on the record that we are going to convene that committee in the very near future. And Mr. Merman will be in charge of that. I'm sure he'll send emails out to everybody.
Mucho. I think we had a discussion at one time that with the signs, we would have the planner.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Whoever,
Yeah.
as the chair of that committee, whoever you require to be there, Mr. Skirvitz and so forth,
Necessary.
I think it's good to have, absolutely. So you just convene the meeting, reserve the room in the back, and
you'll tell
call
me who's
whoever you
all
need.
on.
I'll let you know.
All right. You'll email.
And then as far as the master plan committee, I would like to see them convene at toward the beginning of the year. and start looking over some of the things in our master plan. Particularly, I think there's some historic elements that have to be looked at and so forth. So I'll email everybody except my neighbor here, who I'll call on the phone, and let them know which particular committee you're on, and then you guys can work around your schedules to try to get together to work on these two recommendations to the mayor and council.
Status of the application for,
Kennecott Road?
No.
New
No.
Bridge?
Newbridge.
New Bridge, okay. They met with the site plan review committee, which I'm a member of, which you're a member of, and they presented a plan. The plan looks actually very exciting. It's gonna really clean up that area down there nicely. We gave them some suggestions on making it more colonial looking because of the location. We were informed by the mayor that it sounds like the state or the county is going to be adding a museum across the street where the junkyard used to be. So we talked about some antique type lighting and maybe having a flicker versus so forth. They agreed to streetscape all the way up to the bridge. So they're putting that plan together, and hopefully we'll get them in sometime in October. But it looks to be a really nice application for that, where the two vacant buildings in Bergen Dining used to be. So we've got that. Now, I also got a preliminary plan in an email today, very preliminary, but it looks like they may be moving forward, where the Christine Balmet property is on Johnson Avenue. And what they're proposing is a new spa with some offices upstairs, no residential, and the plans look absolutely beautiful. And that's going to really pull together that whole, what we've, quite honestly, we've all accomplished over the years here on the, between planning boards and the zoning boards, but specifically the planning boards, pulling that whole area together and making it look fantastic. I'm going to share two quick stories before we go. One was I had a councilwoman in Oradell come up to me, not Oradell, I'm sorry, in Emerson, come up to me one day and she said, you know, Jim, she says, we're having a lot of trouble here in Emerson. What are you guys doing to get these people to do such wonderful things to their property? And I said, quite honestly, that we treat them fair. We talk to them about what the town would like to see, and most times we don't overreach, and they agree with what we ask. And that is how this whole south end of town is developed. And quite honestly, I think you all deserve a big congratulations on that, because the work that we've done here, and even the work before some of you have been here, has been spectacular. And then the other day I was interviewing, I'm on the board of realtors, and we were interviewing a young lady that's running for council in Oradell. And she had no idea who I was. And we were sitting there, and she says, you know, we want to try to redevelop our business section in town, and what we'd really like to do is what River Edge is doing. And that was just nice to hear. And again, it made me very proud to be a part of this, and you should all also be very proud. You all do fantastic jobs up here. I have admiration for everybody, as does the mayor, and the mayor and I have talked about that. So that's what I wanted to get on the record. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstained?
No one wants to leave after that. Tell them
So the old ski shop way back.
Oh, and I'd like to welcome Ed as our new planning and zoning board secretary, municipal land use. No, actually, everything to me looked excellent, and you know, we realized the learning curve, but